I will be doing a talk on South Africa. Back in, I think, 2016, 2017, I left to travel around the world for a year. And my favorite country during that 1 year trip was South Africa. It was the one place that absolutely just blew me away. So why should you travel to South Africa, and why did I love it so much? Like I said, I've been to, at this point, I've been to 78 countries now, and I still put South Africa as my #1 favorite place that I've ever visited, where the shock factor was just, it was there. I think the reason why I like South Africa so much and why you should go travel there is because if you want to have an authentic African experience, but you don't want to go through the BS of like a more undeveloped African country, South Africa is the one that will meet both those needs, because South Africa is a developed country. They have very good infrastructure. Roads are very nice, so you're not driving on rocks, not like just rocks and puddles and like mud. You know, there's an actual road. They have really good internet there, so it's pretty fast. So and you can easily get a SIM card in the airport. So in terms of ease of travel, South Africa is there, but you can still see all the stuff that you want to see, like do safaris, landscapes. If you want to drink some wine, they have pretty much everything. South Africa has actually a very diverse landscape. So if you're big into landscape, then you can see it all there, whether that be desert, subtropical, I think tropical even, savanna. They have a wide range. All right, so let's do a quick history of South Africa. I'm no historian, so I will kind of just run through it really quickly, kind of just put it together. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention earlier, the exchange rate between Canadian dollars and South African rand is roughly 10 to 1. So you get about roughly 10 rand, roughly. Sometimes more for every $1 Canadian. They have really good food. Beef and oranges are their kind of like local food. That's really good. So why don't we go with the quick history. So in 1816, the Zulu Empire started. Everyone knows Shaka Zulu. I don't know much about him, but when I played video games, I remember he was always one of the characters. That's how I know about it. In 1880, there was the war between the British people and the Dutch settlers. And it's because the Dutch settlers wanted to have their own land that was separate from the British. And they actually won that war. That's why if you go to the western side of South Africa, they speak like Africa's main language is English. But they also speak Afrikaan. And Afrikaan is very close to Dutch. So if you go to South Africa, you'll meet a lot of Dutch people, and they'll speak Afrikaan to them, and they'll know what they're saying. Because Afrikaan is pretty much similar to that. In 1889, they had a second war, and the Dutch people lost. So that's why South Africa's main language is English. 1948 was when apartheid was enacted. So apartheid was the racist rule that they kind of put in place, where if you were black, then you didn't have the same privilege as the white people. And Nelson Mandela is the famous guy that kind of fought against that. So in 1990, he was released from prison. In 1994 was when apartheid was abolished, and Nelson Mandela became the first black president of South Africa. Yeah, just let him. So 2013 is when Nelson Mandela died, which is pretty sad. When I went to South Africa, I got to learn more about Nelson Mandela, and he's actually one of my biggest heroes. If I were to pick like someone from the past that I would really say I'd look up to, it would be probably Nelson Mandela. Recently they had a president called Jacob Zuma, and he was extremely corrupt. Mm-hmm. He was stealing money from the local, from the government essentially. And I was talking to a lot of black South Africans when I was there, and they were saying to me, you know what, Jacob Zuma was even worse than the racist people from the apartheid days. Because he was stealing money from the country. So they pretty much forced him to resign. So they have a new president now, who I'm not sure if he's any better, because from what I can see, he's doing something really racist now, which is he's confiscating all the land that is owned by white South Africans, and he's not gonna compensate them for that confiscating the land. So he's pretty much doing what they were doing in apartheid, but reverse. which I don't think is the right answer. I think Nelson Mandela was on the right path, so I think he would be upset if he would still be alive.
Kendrick, can I ask
Yes.
you a basic question
Yes.
before you go into South Africa?
Yes.
Do you work in the like travel industry, or
No.
did you? What prompted you to take a year off, or you just burnt out from your job and you had saved up money to travel for a year, or?
Oh, that's a good question. So, I think it was back then. It was back in 2014 or 15. I think it was 15 actually. I started a business, and my business kind of went downhill after a few months. Like the first 4 months I made money, but then afterwards I made a huge mistake in my marketing campaign, and I lost all my money, and I was feeling a little bit down and depressed. And I went to an event in Seattle by an author. His name's Chris Guillebeau. I don't know if you've heard of him. He wrote a book called The $100 Startup. And they were talking about travel hacking. And then at that point I was already obsessed with travel hacking and traveling, but I just didn't put I didn't connect it together that travel was my passion. I just thought it was like a side hobby. I didn't really realize that it was my obsession, even though I was already obsessing over it. So when I went to that event and I realized a lot of people have actually taken a year off to travel, I was sitting there, I was like, how come I've never done this? Like clearly this is something I would love to do. And that's why I took a year off. And I started a travel blog too. So I have a travel blog, and I kind of document my adventures through that traveling. Oh, did that answer your question?
Yeah. Did you have a budget for?
Yeah, you would have to read my blog because
Okay.
I have all the stats there for the detail to the dollar I spent.
Okay.
Yeah, so check.
Every amount.
Yeah, every country, every amount. Yeah, check out my blog. I'll send you the.
Oh,
Well done.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. South Africa, fun facts. English is the main language in South Africa, but Afrikaan is also widely spoken. So Afrikaan is very close to Dutch. So if you can speak Dutch, you probably understand Afrikaan. They actually have a secret website called Lek and Slap, and it's only in Afrikaan. So if you can't read Afrikaan, you can't go to the website. But basically, you get a discount on accommodations on that website. So it's called
Slap.
Lek and Slap is the name. I don't know how to spell it, but try different variations online. They give you big discounts too, because I was talking to some Dutch people. It's like, hey, you should check out this website, Lek and Slap. I was like, I can't read it, but like, yes. They have 11 official language besides English and Afrikaan. So Zulu and Xhosa is
Kosa.
Xhosa.
Click.
Okay, sorry, you know it better. Xhosa. Okay, so Xhosa is actually Nelson Mandela's heritage. The South African coastline is 2,500 kilometers long, and when you drive in South Africa, because chances are if you want to travel in South Africa on a budget, you will need to rent a car. It's like the UK. They drive on the left side of the road. Okay, there was many times I messed up and I drove into the wrong side of the road.
How safe is South Africa?
We'll go into that. Don't worry. We'll go into that. That's part of my presentation.
The car's right-hand drive or left-hand drive, same?
So when you're inside the car, you're driving on the right side of the car.
You
But
do?
on the left, yeah, the driver is on the right side of the car, but you're driving on the left side of the road.
Okay.
Yeah. South Africa's drinking water is the third safest in the world. Can you believe that?
Unless you're in Cape Town, then they have none left.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's still safe if they had some. If they had some.
They have this thing.
Yeah, when they have
Of
it.
course it's safe.
Yeah. They found the most complete human fossil in the world. The most complete. So it's not the oldest, but it's the oldest, most complete, like the full. And the South Africa uses this weird plug. It's a 3-round pin plug. So make sure that you get that one. If you get like one of those, like adapters, they probably will not have the South Africa one. The South Africa is really weird. I think it costs $20 for
What's the voltage?
I don't know.
220, 110.
I don't know. 220? Okay. So this is how big South Africa is in comparison to Canada. So you can see like it's about as big as BC and Alberta kind of combined, like roughly. So now you know how big South Africa is. So if you're doing a road trip, so you're probably going to be starting here all the way here. So Johannesburg to Cape Town is the general route that people take. Then you could kind of just like pretend you're here. So you're pretty much driving from Vancouver to Manitoba, like the edge of Manitoba. Hey, welcome. Let's have a seat right there.
Thanks.
Trip planning. So how do you get around South Africa? That's kind of like how we're going to be talking about, because transportation is very important. We're going to talk about budgeting and exchanging money, route planning, what to see and do, and safety tips. So safety tips is what I'm going to answer Rakesh's question. How safe is South Africa? All right. So getting around South Africa. So how do you get around this country? There's 3 ways you can get around. You can either rent a car, take the BAS bus, or fly around. Right. So let's go with the car rental first. You're most likely going to start your trip either in Johannesburg or Cape Town. Those are the 2 starting points for anyone who's trying to travel in South Africa. You're allowed to, it's easy to rent a car and just go one way because that's what all the tourists do. So they already expect you to do that, and they don't charge you a lot of extra fee to go that one way direction. So it's actually pretty good. That's what I did when I went to South Africa. I just went one way. If you plan on going to Swaziland, which has been renamed to Eswatini, they have a new name for the country, but it's essentially Swaziland or Lesotho. So Lesotho is a landlocked country within South Africa, and Swaziland is a country east of South Africa. All right, but it's easy to kind of go through both countries if you want, and I highly recommend that you do, because they're both absolutely beautiful. You do need an international driver license if you get in there. When you're renting your car with Hertz or Avis, they will ask you for your international driver license. So make sure you get one here first at like BCAA, I think sells it. So let's go to BCAA. It's cheaper to drive manual transmission, but automatic's not that much more expensive. Maybe like $100 more. So if you can't drive manual at all, I wouldn't recommend it. In South Africa, you need to be able to drive when you need to drive. Again, back to the safety question later. Not trying to scare anyone. You don't want to have any car headaches when you return your car. And when I first went to South Africa, there's a hostel that I stayed at where the owner said to me, rent a car that will not give you a headache when you return. And there's 2 car companies that he recommended, which is Hertz and Avis. So I rented mine with Hertz, and when I returned it, 0 problems. And I rented a car with them twice, 0 problems. It was very good. And I recommend you just pick those 2. If you have an Amex card, you don't have to pay for car insurance because the American Express cards comes with car insurance. So you save money on paying for that insurance. And they actually recognize Amex cards. So when you show it to them, they're like, oh yeah, that card has insurance. You don't have to pay for insurance. And also when you use an Amex card, they also have a coupon code for a discount on your car rental. So it saves you money when you rent cars. So that's what I did. I had an Amex card and I used that to cover the cost of insurance and also to get a discount on the car rental.
What about Canadian cards?
No, can't we just use them?
American Express is a Canadian card. It's a Canadian card.
Oh,
Yeah, yes. There's a lot of tolls, and you don't know when you're crossing a toll sometimes. So just be careful that there's a lot of tolls that you're paying in South Africa. You're probably gonna get a speeding ticket in South Africa just because it's so easy to speed. They actually have, I think, cameras and satellites that catches you. I think I've gotten 4 speeding tickets when I was in South Africa.
Kendrick.
Yeah, I didn't even notice. But it's cheap though. It's $25 per speeding ticket. So if there's a time to speed, it's in South Africa. Yeah, this is not very ethical advice maybe, but it was an advice given to me by a friend who went there too, and he said he was speeding everywhere because it was only $25.
It's not going to show up on your driver's license here.
Yeah, it doesn't, right? Yeah.
When you say $25, are you talking about the Canadian dollar equivalent?
Yes,
Okay.
equivalent. Yeah, it's, what is that, 250 rand?
250 rand.
Yeah, 250 rand, yeah. It might be even less actually. Maybe it's $20 Canadian. I'm not sure. Maybe it's even cheaper. Driving etiquette. So let's quickly talk about driving etiquette. One of the weird things when you drive in South Africa is that you'll notice the cars will start going to the left side. Like not on the road, right? Like this is the road. There's 2 lanes, but they'll go on the outside the two lanes, and you're like, what is this person doing? They're letting you pass. So drivers in South Africa are really friendly about this. They'll actually drive in the edge of the road, let you pass, and then they'll go back. Yeah, and then when you say thank you, you kind of just hit your brake twice, like quickly, and that flashes twice, and that says thank you. So that's kind of like just some driving etiquette in South Africa that you.
They will make 2 lanes into 3. If somebody
Yes.
Person coming this way
Yes.
goes this way, person coming this way goes this way, and you go through the middle.
They're really nice.
It's in Europe the same way too, like in Sweden. There's
They do that too in your
lanes.
Sweden?
The side lane is the same story. Denmark,
Yeah.
Sweden, Norway, same kind of story.
Well, they do that too in South Africa. Now, one thing that's also, so that's the good part. The bad part is if you're on the lane where you're supposed to speed up. So in Canada, it's a left, right? The left side's where you kind of drive faster. The right side's when you drive slower. So in South Africa, the right side's where you drive faster. If you are not in that lane and you're driving too slow, cars will not weave around you. They're gonna tailgate you super close.
It's like their life.
Yeah. They're gonna tailgate you. They're not gonna move, right? You have to move to the left,
Yeah.
let them pass. Otherwise, they're gonna tailgate you.
Yeah, it's same in Europe, like
Yeah.
exactly same story.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's good.
Yeah.
I guess they got it from Europeans then.
Portugal, Spain, same. Like
That's where they got it from.
Yeah.
Did you ever get directions where they said, go to the third robot and turn left?
No, I never got that. I don't know.
When we first got to Cape Town, trying to find our way around. you
What's
say,
a robot?
Where is this? What is a robot? A robot, stoplight.
Oh, the stoplight?
Like we're literally walking here. They big, are they little?
Yeah. Well, also in South Africa, they don't know what ketchup is. So if you ask for ketchup, they're like, huh? You have to tell them tomato sauce. Yeah. So just
Didn't know
it's
that,
just one of
but
those
the
one of those weird
robots
things.
Through us for days.
Because I had fries and burger, right? And they have really good burgers in South Africa. I think their burgers are actually organic. Like I think they just it's from the cow I seen walking outside. But you know, and then you want ketchup with your burger and fries, but they don't have ketchup. They have tomato sauce. It's the same thing. Don't leave any valuables out. So South Africa is not a safe country. I'm gonna say that out right now. It is not a safe country, especially if you are a dumb tourist. So you have to be extra vigilant in South Africa. If you have any electronics out and someone sees you, there's a chance they're gonna try to steal it from you. So just be careful. Someone actually tried to pickpocket me too when I was in a gas station once. So just be very aware of your stuff at all times. Don't drive at night.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to this advice. I actually drove at night.
Yeah.
I was freaked out because I got stranded in Swaziland because I got lost. They don't have street signs in Swaziland. So when I was driving, there was like, where am I supposed to go? There's no street signs, right? So I got stranded there for 3 hours longer than I had planned.
Yeah.
So I was 3 hours late to arriving in Johannesburg. So I had to drive in Johannesburg at night. And I was freaked out. I was driving at 160 kilometers per hour. And my mentality, this is gonna sound really bad, but I was like, if someone comes in front of me, I have to keep going, you know, because it's better you than me, you know, like, because like, and also in South Africa, when you're driving, especially, I only saw this in Johannesburg, because Johannesburg is, when I say South Africa is not safe, I'm really talking about Johannesburg. Outside South Africa, outside Johannesburg, it's more or less more okay, just be obviously aware. I guess that not for Gloria's story, but like, so in Johannesburg they have a lot of signs, like actual signs on the side of the road, and it says high carjacking spot. So they'll tell you this spot, there's a lot of carjacking that happens here. They'll tell you. So just make sure you're driving like crazy. No one's gonna mess with a maniac, right? So just drive like a maniac. Drive like a maniac, and you're gonna be okay. It's okay. It's okay.
When we were driving, we rented from Joburg and went down, and then they said, well, you can drive through Swaziland, but make sure you have your gun with you. I was like, we don't have guns. So I said, if you don't have a gun with you, you better fly over, because at that time.
To Swaziland?
Swaziland and the other one was also. They
You
said,
said-
if you don't.
It was
have-
dangerous in Swaziland back then?
Yeah, if you don't have guns with you, don't drive. That's
Okay.
that was our advice. It's like, okay.
Okay, what's
we won't drive, we'll fly.
Swaziland is extremely safe now. Swaziland is one of the safest country now.
Yeah.
Lesotho is also very safe. So don't worry about having a gun.
But that's how, yeah.
But back in the days, I guess that's what the case is.
I don't know. I've heard they stop your car, pull you out of your car,
Where?
take your car in South Africa
Where?
and Johannesburg. Like
Well-
you can't go in a car in Johannesburg. That's what my friends have told me. So just
Well, I did it. I was okay.
yeah, you might have driven like a maniac or something.
No, if you drive during the day, it's okay too. The daytimes are.
A lot of scary stories. You know, black guys are just.
Yeah, but you just be aware. Don't let your fear kind of like stop you from doing the stuff. Do your research. I did my research. I didn't drive in the center of Johannesburg. I drove in like the outer layer of Johannesburg. It's safe in the outer layer, so just go in the outer layer. The closer you get to the core, the more sketchy it becomes.
You didn't drive the west coast, right?
What west
Only
coast?
the east side. Yeah,
Of
right?
Johannesburg?
No, from Johannesburg to Cape Town, but from Cape Town, not on the west coast, right?
I didn't go back.
Gardner Road?
I did the Gardner Road. No, hold on. Let me finish the talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, don't get ahead of yourself. Hold on, let me finish the talk first. Okay, all your question will probably be answered. Okay, Swaziland has really horrible roads. So if you're going there, you either get a 4x4 vehicle, or you drive like a turtle, like 10 to 20 kilometers per hour. And I was driving 10 to 20 kilometers. So I'll show you a picture. Do I have a picture? No. Let me check. Give me 1 second here. Do I have any picture from there? Yeah, I do. Here we go. I have a video for you guys. So this is what you expect in Swaziland.
Oh,
So this is driving in Swaziland, guys. So as you can see, this is what Swaziland looks like.
Oh,
This is the roads.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's driving in Africa in general.
No, but South Africa's not like this.
Yeah, outside of South Africa.
So outside South Africa is like this, but it's like this, and this is actually the better part too. Some parts has like really deep groove, pits
Yeah.
and I was afraid that my car's gonna get damaged because I drove a car there, not a 4x4 vehicle. So yes, you can drive with a regular car, but just be aware that you have to drive like a turtle. Like I was barely moving. I was driving like 20 kilometers per hour.
A camera did you have? That's it.
That's a GoPro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a GoPro. Yeah, it's nice. So that's kind of like Swaziland. Yeah, I have some videos for you guys so you can kind of see what to expect. So if you choose to go by Bass Bus, this is kind of like the Bass Bus route. Bass Bus is kind of like if you're like a safety freak, then I would recommend you go Bass Bus. This is how much it costs. It's like a hop-on, hop-off bus that goes to different places in South Africa. You can see all the different routes that you can take. The purple ones is where it stops. So you can go from Johannesburg all the way to Cape Town, as you can see, and all the stops that matters, like the important touristy areas. So these are the prices, and this is the one way. So it's at $500. It's expensive though.
500.
This is $560 pretty much for a one way from Cape Town to Joburg.
No,
Rand.
530 rand is
Rand, you said, it's
$50.
Rand, it's $50.
No, it's 5,620 rand. 5,620 rand. That's not 500. That's 5,620
Oh,
rand.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
that's-
It's $562.
Then it's expensive.
It is expensive. So if you prefer safety, and you don't want to drive, then you can take the Bass Bus, and it's hop on, hop off, right? So you can see the whole country.
So you can stay as long as you want. Same.
Yeah,
same.
I think so.
Yeah.
You have to read obviously the terms and conditions.
Yeah.
How much did you pay for renting a car and gas?
I have to check my stats, but
Roughly, was it?
500 maybe $500.
But there's
So
still
it's just a little bit less, not.
Yeah, but I had the freedom when I went
Right,
to move,
just stop.
and I can self-drive in Kruger. You can't self-drive in Kruger with this. So that's the biggest benefit of having a car rental.
Private.
My sisters, I have two sisters. They drove across South Africa. They rented a car, and something did bad happen to them in Johannesburg. A police stopped them and demanded a bribe, and my sister gave them a bribe, and I was like, the heck. But yeah, she gave them $50. But yeah, that's Johannesburg. But like I said, don't stay in Johannesburg, and don't. The reason why the person was able to get away with the bribe is because my sister did not have an international driver's license. That was his excuse for the bribe, right? He was making things up. It's like, as a tourist renting a car, if you don't have a international driver license, that's not a good thing,
right.
And then my sister freaked out, obviously, and just gave in. I'm pretty sure Gloria would fight him to the end.
Oh,
Yeah.
we'd have a discussion about it.
Yeah. So Gloria's fierce, so don't mess with Gloria. So this is the Bass Bus. So if you choose the Bass Bus route, this is how you would take it. For planes, this is the planes that you would take to go to South Africa. So if you fly into South Africa, chances are you're gonna be in South African Airways. Cathay Pacific actually goes to South Africa too. I didn't put it here, but it goes there. That's me in the airplane. South African Airline is a really good airline. It's one of my favorite. It's in my top 10 favorite airlines of all time. It's very spacious. British Airways also flies in there. I put the picture of Mango Air here because when I was in South Africa, a lot of the locals were raving about Mango Air. Like this is the airline that they like to take. So if you prefer to fly domestically, and you want to get what the locals like to take, Mango Air is what the locals like to take. But I gave you all the different options here, obviously, that you could potentially take when you're in the country.
How long did you spend in South Africa?
3 weeks,
Okay.
21 days, yeah. So budgeting. this is how much I spent in South Africa for 3 weeks. I spent a lot of money, $1,000, almost $2,000 essentially, for
That's not bad.
what's
That's
that?
actually
Yeah,
very-
but the reason why it's expensive is because of excursions. Excursions in South Africa are expensive. A lot of it too is the car rental and accommodations. So this is how much you would budget: $93.63 per day.
Is
Is
that for you, 2 people or 1?
one person?
One, okay.
Yeah. So this is how much you would want to budget per day in South Africa.
But are you sharing a hotel room, so is it cheaper or would it be more for one? Like, were you?
No, because if you stayed in a hostel, it would be the same.
Oh.
But we always got the private room, right? So
Okay.
it's $40 for the SIM card. That's for 3 weeks of SIM card, and you can call people and you can use the internet. A lot of places like Lesotho or Drakensberg, they don't have internet there, but if you have a SIM card, there's connection and you can use it. It's really fast. They have really good coverage, so I recommend you get a SIM card when you go to South Africa. Hostels are about $15 to $20 each. If you collect frequent flyer points, they have a lot of Marriotts there too. It's usually category 1, so it's like 7,000 points to redeem it, so it's a pretty good deal. I did redeem it twice when I was in Kruger, and that was a good plan. This price that I have here includes my time in Lesotho in Swaziland. Okay.
What about airfare? Like, how much was that? That's,
To fly there?
Yeah.
Oh, I used points to fly there.
oh, okay.
So it was like $100 or something. But if you paid out of pocket, then I would think it's probably quite a bit,
Yeah.
like 1,500 at least. 1,500 at least.
So what would say like a typical meal be? Like 10 rand, 10 rand?
For what?
50
For
rand?
food?
For food, 40 rand.
5 to 10 rand?
5 to 10 rand for food?
No.
Oh.
No, sorry. $5 to $10
Yeah,
Canadian.
5 to $10 Canadian.
Yeah, food is
Oh,
cheap.
so
Okay.
cheap.
Food is not a problem in South Africa. It's cheap.
Okay.
It's the excursions that will kill you. The excursion will kill you. If you don't do anything in South Africa, you just like live there. It's cheap. But obviously, you're not there to just live. Like you're there to see stuff, right? So
How did you carry your money? Sorry, back in the day, like when I was
I had a money
in my
belt.
20s, I used to use that.
I had a money belt.
traveler's checks. I guess that's sort of antiquated now.
Yep.
Like,
cash. They take credit card everywhere in South
you
Africa.
Just take credit card.
Yeah. Use your credit card. Yeah,
Okay.
they take credit card everywhere.
So, and is it better to take some US dollars or?
Yeah, I had 1,000 US on me at all times.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a money belt and I had
Did you
1,000.
use it?
I did. I exchanged. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, it actually came in handy. So, US dollars is king in the world, right? So it's your get out of jail card. Yeah. Yeah. Ready to hit it again?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, guys. Route planning. What to do and what do you want to do? What do you want to see? So this is gonna be different for everybody. There was specific things that I wanted to see, and I planned my route based on those things that I wanted to see. So I'll show you what my route looks like, but then you're more than welcome to obviously tailor to your route, and I'll give you my recommendations as well.
Can you also talk about inoculations, like what type of vaccinations you may have?
Oh, that's a whole
okay.
different meetup there. I did a talk on that already actually. It's in my blog, but
Okay, I'll read
get all the ones that you need. You know, like Tdap, measles, mumps, rubella,
You can fly to Thailand, get them all
Yes.
there, and come back.
Twin
You'll
Ricks.
still be ahead.
yeah, twin Ricks, the Hep A, Hep B. You don't.
Rabies.
No, you don't need a rabies one.
Yes, you do need a
But
rabies.
it doesn't work though. I went to the pharmacist here. They told me they advised me against it. They said it's not that effective. That's what shoppers told me.
If you're bush camping, they've told me you should really consider it.
Oh really?
Yeah, mostly because of lack of access, right? They
Oh,
have
I see.
Specific blood product that
Yeah.
if you trust yourself first to the fact that there's lack of access and second to the fact that it's a blood product.
But the probability of you, an animal, coming like attacking you in South Africa is really small.
But you know, we were in India and a cow bumped me at my ass as I was walking down the street.
Yeah.
And
You got rabies?
I didn't have rabies, but I don't know. But you know, and then he was eating an ice cream cone, and a monkey came up and scratched
I
the
have
ice cream
met more
cone
people
and
that have
scratched
been
his
bitten or
scratched
scratched by
his-
monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That had to,
Monkey
people
do
who
that.
didn't have the rabies shot, then had to go through the whole series, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
ugly.
Yeah.
Okay, well I'll leave that up to you. I did not get it, and I'm happy I did not. But it's up to you.
It's an expensive vaccine.
Malaria pills you only need it if you go during wet season or summer season. So I went during October dry season. There was no mosquitoes, like hardly any. So it's fine. But if they did tell me that if I was there in December or January, that I would need malaria pills.
So the monsoon season is from when to when? Or
Their summer, I guess, the December.
So it's like Australia, it's reversed.
Yeah, it's a reverse. Yeah, exactly. Kruger National Park has malaria. If you don't go during dry season, if you go during dry season, it's okay. So, if you don't go during dry season, you need malaria pills. So this is the route that I took when I was in South Africa. I started in Johannesburg, and I rented a car. I just came from Egypt actually because I was on my 1-year trip, so I was exhausted. So I kind of just relaxed in Johannesburg for a few days, and then I drove all the way to Kruger National Park. And that was my first stop, and I did a self-driven safari. I was only there for 48 hours, I think, and then afterwards I drove down to Swaziland because it's pretty close to Kruger, right? Like Swaziland and Kruger. So I drove down to Swaziland. And I entered from the north side of Swaziland, so the roads are not really roads. They're like what I showed you in the video. And then from there, I drove all the way back to Johannesburg, and that's kind of like the scary time when I got stuck at night. I had to drive to Johannesburg at night, because when I arrived at Johannesburg, it was already like 8 p.m. or something. And then from Johannesburg, I saw the Cradle of Humankind afterwards, so I drove to the Cradle of Humankind. So it's like right here, right? So I drove there. But I drove on around the. I didn't go to the center of Johannesburg. I went like on the outskirts, where it's safe. Because I spoke to the locals first and asked them for safety tips, and they said, okay, you'll be fine. Just drive around the outskirts. Just don't go inside. If you go inside, someone's gonna carjack you for sure. So I drove outside, and I was safe, and it was fine. So I went to Cradle of Humankind and Sterkfontein, came back. After Johannesburg, I drove all the way to Drakensberg. Drakensberg is super safe. You can drive there anywhere. Go to the supermarket, it's fine. It's in the mountains. It's really nice. I recommend. This is one of the highlights. Besides Kruger is one of the highlights in South Africa. The second big highlight I would definitely say is Drakensberg.
Drakensberg is a game reserve there?
No, it's the mountain.
Yeah, I've been on the Drakensberg mountain, but that's it, the mountains,
Yeah, you go to the mountains,
Yeah.
and then from Drakensberg you can go into Lesotho. So they'll drive you into Lesotho. And it's a really cool border because the border immigration is being manned by like a teenager in a portable.
So do you just get a J visa or?
No, you don't need a visa asking it. Yeah, so the teenager will like hey, how are you? And stamp your thing. You get in, you get out. They're so nice. Yeah, it's like like a 16-year-old.
What's to see in Lesotho?
It's African villages. So they take you to like a schoolhouse where the African villages, you can meet like African kids. Oh, so nice. My sister loved it. They had like African kids playing with them. It's really like heartwarming. And then also if you join the tour, so I would recommend you stay in an accommodation called Amphitheater Backpacker. It's not really a hostel. It's almost like a mountain resort. It's like the nicest hostel I've ever been to.
What about Swaziland? What's worth seeing there?
I'll show you later. Don't worry. Okay, just relax, people. I'll get to it. So in Lesotho, like when you pay for the tour, the money also goes to helping them build schools for the African kids. So I think that was a really good. I felt that whatever I paid was worthwhile. After Lesotho, I went to Durban, but only because I need a place to sleep, so I went to Durban. There's nothing really to do in Durban. When I went there was a marathon happening, so it was annoying. The traffic was really bad. Afterwards, I went to Coffee Bay. I have a bad story about this to tell you later on. Something bad happened to me here. But my sisters went to Coffee Bay, and it was their #1 favorite in the whole country. So travel is very subjective. Coffee Bay, the road here is really bad. It's just as bad as Swaziland. But apparently my sister went there last year, and apparently it's been paved now. So it's not bad anymore. From there, I went here, which is this is pretty much the garden route. The garden route is here. This is popular. I would say actually the east side has more to see than the left side. Like the more side that people avoid is actually the nicer side. But here my first stop was Jeffreys Bay, which is a beach. Really relaxing. So I think when you go to South Africa, it's good to just take some time to just relax too. You don't want to just go all the time, right? So Jeffreys Bay I think is a good place to kind of just chill out, live the beach life. So we stayed in a hostel too. Again, it's probably the nicest hostel I've stayed at in South Africa. We had like a balcony. We got lucky too because we booked during shoulder season. We had the whole place to ourselves. So we had a private kitchen, we had a living room to ourselves, we had a TV, it was really nice. There was a supermarket sort of across the street, and we went to hang out on the beach. Jeffreys Bay is also famous for, there was for surfing competition in the world. So a lot of surfing competition happens in Jeffreys Bay. And actually a great white shark went and attacked one of the surfing competitor back then, and then the competitor punched the shark in the face, and then the shark went away. So that's why it's famous. It's actually famous for the guy who punched the shark, right here, and the shark went away after he punched it. And then afterwards, there's a lot of stops in between, so it's up to you where you want to stop. I personally did not stop. I wish I did. I would have liked to stop in Plattenberg Bay because it was really nice, but we were running out of time because we spent too much time on the east side when I went there. So we went all the way to Gansby. This is Gansby. Gansby is where you do the great white shark cage diving.
Oh, yeah.
So I went here and did the great white shark cage diving. And in Cape Town, I'll go into detail, but Cape Town is usually where tourist people go. Because most tourists want to play it safe and they only go to Cape Town.
So was the Great White Shark Cave, was it worth it?
Oh yeah, I have a video. I'll show you guys the video later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Johannesburg, let's start with Johannesburg. So this is all the stuff that you can see in Johannesburg. Okay, so there's the Apartheid Museum, Nelson Mandela's house. The ones I underline are the must-see. Like if I don't underline it, if you miss it, you're probably not. It's not the end of the world. So I missed this one. I didn't do the Soweto biking tour, but every single person that I've met who went there and did a Soweto biking tour raves about it. So if I go back, that's something I would definitely do. The Cradle of Humankind is a must-see. That is probably one of the best museums I've ever seen in my life. It's the evolution of humans, like where we came from and how we evolved throughout the years. And Sterkfontein is right beside the Cradle of Humankind. You're actually gonna go caving. It's super cool. So you go inside a cave, and it feels like Indiana Jones almost, and then they show you like where they excavated all the human remains from the ancient times. It's absolutely incredible. I love Cradle of Humankind, Sterkfontein. And then here's some other stuff that you can see. Constitution Hill, Gold Reef City, Lion Safari Park. So if you don't see any lion and you want to cheat, then you guys go to Lion Safari Park because there's a lot of lions there. And this national park here apparently is another place that you can see the Big Five. All right.
So then you would just book something there?
Yeah, you would book something there. Like you would book a tour there if you want.
Yeah.
I didn't do that because I went to Kruger.
So Johannesburg is only not safe at nighttime. Daytime can go.
No, it's not safe at daytime.
No, it's not
As
safe.
in what?
It's not safe.
What to do
It's
on
not
the
safe at
street?
daytime if you don't drive in the outskirt. So just drive in the outskirt.
So, but you do all those things in Johannesburg though. Is it safe to do all these things then?
What you're gonna join a tour, so it's safe.
Oh, so you don't do.
Any tour in general is safe. Yeah, I was in Venezuela on a tour and I was safe. Like there's a civil war there. But if you join a tour, somehow it's safe.
So you only carried a credit card and then about 1,000 US?
Yes.
And then through all your travels, you didn't take any other form of,
That's correct.
okay,
Yeah, that's correct.
okay.
But you still walk around to go to the museum and so on your own, right?
The museum's indoor, so it's okay. Yeah. So, yeah, no one's gonna rob you inside the museum. Yeah. So this is the Cradle of Humankind. Oh, like I said, it's so amazing. My favorite museum in the whole world. This is my favorite museum. Better than the British Museum. Better than a lot of the museums I've been to. And so this is super cool. This is actually underground, so they take you underground. I'll show you a video in just a second. Yeah, so there's like a underwater ride in the museum. Yeah, I'll show you the video. I'm a huge jerk in the video too, so you'll laugh. Cause I was laughing at my girlfriend screaming in terror. So,
Nice.
yeah, you can see her covering her face right? You see her face?
Why is she scared?
She's in these caves.
Oh, okay.
Do you hear her scream? And I'm just laughing like a maniac. See, like it's snowing inside. It's so cool. Like I mean, obviously the video's not doing justice. See, there's my girlfriend. She's terrified. Just take a picture and then she'll start screaming again. Yeah. So it's incredible. I love this.
Was that the Cradle of Humankind?
This is the Cradle of Humankind. Yeah, there's a boat ride underneath. Oh man, I love the Cradle of Humankind. It's the best. Oops. So also, Going back here again. Circumference. So you go underground and it's a tunnel, and it's like very Indiana Jones like I said. Like you're crawling through some crevices sometimes.
Stupid little thing.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's so fun. I love this place. I think I have a video from there too. Let me just check. Maybe I don't. No, I do not have a video here. So sorry guys. So yeah, that's a Circumference. I highly recommend it. If there's only one thing you can see in Johannesburg, it's this. Don't miss this. This is the must not miss. This is like top 3, right along Kruger. You know.
This is the Cradle.
Yeah. This is beside the Cradle.
Oh.
They're in the same vicinity. Yeah, they're right beside each other. Like when you buy a pass for the Cradle, you can buy a pass for both, and it's cheaper. Yeah.
Did you just have an Amex or did you have one? Sorry, too.
Oh no, I had an Amex, I have a MasterCard, and I had a Visa.
Okay.
I had one of each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kruger National Park. So what? Should you join a tour or drive yourself? I never joined a tour, so I can't give you an advice on that. I drove myself when I was there. The entry fee is 26.40 Canadian, 264 Rand for tourists. There is accommodation inside the park and outside the park. So if you plan on staying longer, I highly recommend you stay inside the park, but it's more expensive. But I think it's a worthwhile, like, once in a lifetime experience. I do plan on going back to South Africa one day once I finish my mission of visiting every country in the world, just because it's one of my favorite. And when I do go back, I'd like to spend several days in Kruger, and I want to go as deep as I can. Blythe River Canyon is really close to Kruger. I did not even know this place existed. I'm really choked. It's so beautiful. It looks like Horseshoe Bay in the U.S. And I would recommend you go there. I underlined it because I didn't see it, and I'm mad at myself for not seeing it. So did you see it?
No, I didn't.
See, she missed it too. So it's yes.
So just a quick, we just bought the tickets in South Africa,
Yeah.
in Cape Town, I think. And I remember thinking how cheap it was, but we bought 3 days and included accommodation, and I can't remember what it was because it was 30 years ago. But relatively, compared to buying it outside the country where it's,
Thousands of dollars.
It was like maybe $250 each for 3 days, including meals and accommodations.
That's really good.
and
That's pretty good.
Maybe it was, I don't know.
But back in the days too, right?
Yeah, back in the day. But still, think about it, $500 for 3 days versus, $5,000 each for,
Yeah.
we just bought, and so we had the tour guide and, the Jeep. It wasn't like a
Yeah.
big bus, it was a Jeep. And so my main point is you don't have to buy it, except for in South Africa.
Yeah, you can make it even cheaper if you have points. So like what we did. So we save up points, right? You can stay at Kruger Gate, the Marriott there. It's only 7,000 points. This is all you're gonna pay to go see safaris. $26 to go see a safari, if you stay by the gate. That's it. That's how cheap it is. Like it's literally like right beside the entrance. So
Is it inside or outside?
It's outside, but it's right beside the entrance. It's like literally you could go outside and the entrance is there.
It's like going across the street.
And that
Yeah.
was the Marriott?
Yeah, it's called Protea, Kruger Gate.
Protea,
Yeah, I would recommend you, like I said, you get some credit card points. Like I think Marriott Bonvoy is like what they have right now. You get that card.
60,000.
Yeah, 60,000 points. This is only 8,000 points to stay one night. 8,000 points. That's like nothing. I stayed 2 nights. Yeah, and even the food so they don't give you free breakfast. So we ate room service, but room service was cheap. It was like $5 for my meal or something, $10. When are you gonna get room service for $5 or $10? Like they bring you
Here.
yeah, not here, yeah, not here, not in Canada. So this is the route I took in Kruger. So this is Kruger Gate. So I stayed, like the accommodation was right here. They'll give you this map when you go to Kruger National Park. Kruger's huge. So me and my girlfriend, we drove into here. It's easy to follow the map, super easy. Just follow the map. We went here, then we went down here, here, and here. And that was our route.
What game did you see?
We didn't see any lions or leopards, but we saw tons of elephants, tons of zebras, tons of monkeys, tons of
Giraffes?
yeah, there's so many giraffes there. So many giraffes, hippos, rhinos crossing the street. That was super cool. Seeing the rhino cross the street, that's awesome. Elephants are rude. They'll see you, but they won't move, so they'll block the road, and you have to be patient. Just wait. Yeah, they're jerks. Yeah.
That's their home though, right?
Yeah, it's their home, so you're the jerk actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'll show you a video, I think, of Kruger. Oh, here we go. So this is kind of like what you would expect to see once you're in Kruger, like once you're deeper in. So this video I'm showing right now, Let me just. This video right now was taken in this area right here. Can you see this area?
Yeah.
That's where it was. Okay, so it's in this area here. So you're driving, and there you go. See, there's a zebra. They're really dirty too. I thought that they would not be brown, but yeah. A little bit shaky camera. Yeah, and so the car's moving. There's another zebra there. You know, you're driving along and you see a zebra and you keep driving. And what do you see here? It's the other side. Oh, there we go. You know, some like wildebeest. Yeah, lots of wildebeest there. Impalas. Yeah, lots of impalas. There's a lot of I call pumbas, like from Lion King. There's tons of those pumbas too. They're all over the place. Yeah, more zebras. Like there's just so many zebras here. They're like everywhere. Yeah, you will never not see a zebra. There's just so many zebras. Yeah, see, there's like animals everywhere. They're just grazing. It's such a like I can show you the video here, but when you're there in person, you're looking at it. I can't tell you how much I was in awe. Like it was like such
They're
a.
so concentrated.
It was such a wonderful feeling. Just like
Everywhere you look.
my jaw dropped. I was like driving really slowly. Like, oh my god, it's like the one of my. Like I have goosebumps thinking about it. It's
What type of equipment did you pack for your year trip? Did you
Oh,
have a laptop? And
Doesn't have time to talk about that now.
I'm gonna do a presentation on this. I can't talk
Okay.
about this right now because this is South Africa. So yeah, I'll do a talk about that again because it seems people are curious about
Oh,
that.
okay.
Okay.
I didn't know you did other presentations.
Oh yeah.
This is my first time.
No worries. Yeah, it's a lot of question marks in your head. So after Kruger, I went to Swaziland / Eswatini. So you can see the landscape. It doesn't do any justice, but it's really breathtaking. One of the most beautiful rolling mountains I've ever seen was in Swaziland. It's also nice to see like the locals. So you can see like the locals like walking around. They're really friendly. They wear like really cool uniforms. So I thought that was like really nice. Definitely they stared at me and my girlfriend because we were the only Asians there. Yeah. But we always waved at the locals. Like we gave them we always went like this with them, and they had like the biggest face and they waved at me. So it was really a very heartwarming experience. That's us. See, I'm driving in Swaziland and look how stressed I look. My girlfriend says now she's the happy one now. Yeah, she's the happy one now for laughing at her at Cradle. And like the roads are so bad, right? So I'm like so stressed, right? Yeah, she's happy though. Drakensberg, so that's the next stop that I went to. I stayed at Amphitheater Backpackers, highly recommend it. If you don't want to stay in the hostel, you can get a private room, and the private rooms are really nice. It looks like this, it looks like a resort, like I said, which is very beautiful. I joined a tour, so this is a tour guide for Lesotho, and we kind of sat in a circle, and he told us stories, showed us like, in this wall there's painted rock art that the Basotho people carved into the wall, so it's really interesting. It cost about $80 from what I remember to join this Lesotho tour. When you stay at Amphitheater Backpacker, they offer 2 tours, Lesotho and Tugela Falls. We didn't go to Tugela Falls, and we should have, but the reason why we didn't go was because we went on dry season, and the falls was dry. So you would have to go during wet season. So if you want to see the Tugela Falls with actual water, I underlined it because it's highly recommended. It's absolutely breathtaking. And they take you on a huge like trek to go to it. So if you like trekking, it's guided. Then that's the time to see it. And I think it's about $80 per tour. So like I said,
Season, yeah.
well, you have to go wet season. I went to Victoria Falls in dry season, and Victoria Falls had no water.
Are you sure? Is that even possible?
I was so choked.
Like,
I was like, "Where's the water?"
And you couldn't see anything because it was just raining so
Yeah,
hard.
maybe.
Yeah, I was like, "Where's the water?"
There's tons of water when I went. I went during wet season.
I went during dry season.
But, like, I cannot imagine
It's dry. It's
waterfalls of that
It was dry.
magnitude.
There was not a drop.
Scale.
Oh my god, I was so choked.
Well, at least you get to see it.
Yeah.
If you go in wet season, you can't see it.
See what the
You
rocks?
gotta go somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, it was just, there was so much mist, it was just like being in a downpour.
Oh, okay.
And you couldn't see as, like, I wouldn't have been able to see you.
Well,
let alone see the
I didn't even see anything. I didn't see the water. So, yeah, go in between. Go in between, everyone.
Through there.
Jishi, can you go to the washroom right now?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, let's go pause this. Let's take a washroom break, okay? And I'll continue.
There we go.
All right, guys. So I'll show you a video of
Do you need a license?
So this is This is the landscape in Lesotho that you can kind of expect. Like I said, it doesn't really do justice. It's just very mountainous. It's really nice. There's schools there too that they'll show you where the kids are. I'll show you a video of kind of like what the landscape looks like if you're walking. This is like a video.
It looks like Merit to me.
Looks like what?
Merit.
Yeah.
It's coming down. the-
Oh, Merritt? Yeah. Yeah, it's nicer in person. So like, yeah, you're just walking. This is me and Karen, like we're just walking. Yeah. Yeah, so it's, yeah, like I said, it's super nice landscape.
Peru too.
What's that?
Peru.
Peru, yeah. I guess they all seem. Well, South America and Africa used to be one continent, right? Before Pangaea happened.
Yeah.
Coffee Bay. So Coffee Bay is the next place we went to. Hole in the Wall is a very popular hike. Don't drive there. Do the hike. Apparently, that's much nicer. This is my sister's favorite place in South Africa, is Coffee Bay. The driving condition used to be terrible, but now apparently it's much better. It's paved apparently, but it wasn't safe when I went. So when I went, there's only one way to pretty much, like one known way to enter the place. On the way out, we noticed that the locals block all the exits from the town, so we couldn't go out of the two known way to leave Coffee Bay. And then like a woman like knocks on our window, and then like I don't know why, but my girlfriend opened her window down, and then the woman's like, "You better get out, or they're gonna hurt you." And then before long, we see like all this like rural Africans coming to our car, and they start hitting on our car like this, like boom, 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 boom. And I was like, "Oh shit!" So like, I quickly drive out, right? And then like they didn't follow the car; they were just hitting my car. I think it was the start of their riot. I don't know what it was. So they weren't like angry yet, like they would hurt anyone. They were just kind of like getting excited. Yeah, practicing maybe. So we drove a little bit. They didn't follow us, so I'm like, okay, I guess they just wanted us to stay away from that area. And then like some white South Africans approached me and Karen and said, okay, we'll go to the police station and see what they say. So we go to the police station. The police is like, yeah, just wait for them to calm down. And I was like, that's not really helpful. Like, but I can't leave, right? Like I need to leave Coffee Bay. I can't be there. I already booked my next accommodation, and I don't want to stay there too because all this like people there, right? So, the white South African said, okay, we know another secret way out of this place, but it's really bad. Like whatever road you took, it's even worse than that. I was like, oh my god, okay, fine. Rather have a broken car and have to pay like the fee for damaging the car than be dead. Essentially, like, so we follow the car. And it was really bad. I was driving like 10 kilometers per hour, like barely moving, because it's really bad. Like you can hear the rocks in the bottom of the road, like going in the metal of the bottom of your car, sometimes. But I got out. I was fine. It was like a long drive out. It was like 3 hours in this kind of driving circumstance. Yeah, my shoulder was hurting so bad, and I still had 7 hours drive out afterwards to my next place.
If you stayed, what would have happened?
Nothing, I guess. I don't know. I would have never known. I would never know. But there was a crazy Asian girl in our hostel in Coffee Bay who was picking up hitchhikers in South Africa.
Wow.
And she doesn't drive manual, but she rented a manual vehicle. So I don't know. So if you think you're crazy, there's always someone crazier than you.
Like, like I drove manual, but if you're on the wrong side of the road, like that's yet another, like you've got one pile of things to drive manual, and then you got another pile of things.
Well, she did it. She did it, and she was okay. I don't know how she got through the riot, but like she did it.
There's a secret to always knowing which side you're supposed to be on. Like in the Bahamas, we drive like Canadian cars, but on the other side.
Yeah.
And when I said, I cannot do this, one of the boys on Len's crew said, darling, it's easy. You always keep the dirt on the left. And if you think about it, it doesn't matter what side.
The dirt's on the left.
The dirt's on the left.
In Myanmar, they got cars from both sides.
Yes.
Left side and the right side. So it depends on
that's
which one you want to drive.
Cambodia's like that too.
Yeah.
Garden route. So the garden route is where all the tourists that's playing it safe. That's where they stay. So I met a lot of Dutch families when I was in South Africa, and the Dutch families they did not leave the garden route because the garden route is pretty much the safe. Like it's pretty safe in garden route. Like you know it's like I went to Jeffreys Bay for example. Jeffreys Bay. I knew it was safe when I saw white kids riding their bicycle outside. I was like, there's white kids riding their bicycle. This is a safe city, and it was. And apparently the Karoo, if you deviate a little bit from the garden route, it's apparently amazing. I didn't go here, but if I were to go back to South Africa, I would definitely go to the Karoo. So I put that in a question mark, but I would recommend if you go there, go there. Port Elizabeth, it's a nice to drive through it. I don't know if there's anything to see. My sisters went to Port Elizabeth, and it's just like a regular city. Like you go to the mall and whatever. Jeffreys Bay, this is Jeffreys Bay, so it's just like a nice beach to kind of
Is it
hang.
tropical or subtropical?
It's cold there.
It's cold.
It's cold.
So no palm trees, no.
No, it's cold. It's cold. I went to the water still. It was fine, but like it is cold. People are still surfing though. It's freezing. I don't know how they do it. They're nuts. Plattenberg Bay looks really nice too. I wish I went, so I didn't get a chance, but I would recommend that you do. I put other cities, so if you look at the map where I had a Bass bus earlier, you can see all the different stops that you can go. So it's up to you where you want to stop, but for me, I think I was really happy with my choice with Jeffreys Bay. Great white shark cage diving. So this is one of the big things that you can do in South Africa, which is to see the great white shark. And it's not cheap to do it, and the prices are different per person. It's the biggest scam I've ever seen, like the great white shark diving. I got a really good price, but I did it by accident. So I went when there's only a few operators that do it. There's companies that would like hype it up as like a better tour company. They'll have a better website, but they're all the same. It's the same people that will run the shark cage diving. It's literally the same
Now,
people.
is this, do you have a regulator or is it a snorkel?
Huh? No,
When
nothing.
You're in a cage.
No, you just have a snorkel.
Yeah, so it's shark cage snorkeling.
Yeah, shark cage snorkeling then. But they call it diving. So anyways, like, they put you in this long cage that fits like 6 people. And you go inside, you dump your head underneath, and that's how you see the shark. Half the people in my boat was throwing up because the waves are really strong. So just expect to throw up. I felt like throwing up, not because of the waves, but because of the smell of people throwing up. But the people throwing up helped bring more sharks, so hey.
So what would you say when you say cheap price, $100?
So-
$100? Or?
The price that they were charging most tourists was 150 Canadian, so 1,500 rand. The price that I paid was 1,100 rand. So 1,100, what was that? 1,100 rand. So I paid $110 for my shark cage diving, and I did it by accident. So I found a website that had a sale. So I decided to buy it, but apparently they said that they weren't running them that day, so they refunded me my money. So I got to my hostel, and then my hostel was trying to charge me, 1,300, I think. So yeah, cheaper than 1,500. That's like, and I said, but it was 1,100 on the website. I said, she's like, oh really? Okay, I'll give you for 1,100. I'm like, sweet, but don't tell anybody. So I got to the office, and she's like, she has my voucher, and she's like holding her hand, and she's like this. It's like, this is his voucher. The guy's like, okay. I was like, huh? Then I look at other people's voucher. It says 1,500. I'm like, oh, we're paid. Like I paid $40 cheaper for the exact same tour. So I would say it's cheap if you pay anywhere between 1,000 to 1,200. That's like the sweet spot. Anything more than that, you're getting scammed for shark cage diving. So
When my granddaughter was there last year, she actually went to where people were picking up their vouchers,
yeah.
and she paid $100 cash. She just walked up with that much cash in hand and said, "Can I go for this much money?" And they said
Okay,
yes.
yeah. That's probably better than what I got. So yeah, it's
It's just. it's
100
no-
US.
No, Canadian.
Oh wow.
Well,
In
the
the
equivalent.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what it looks like inside a cage when you do the shark cage diving. So they put you in this big cage where like you're beside a lot of people. You could argue I'm in the most claustrophobic spot because I'm like right at the very edge of the cage with no exit. So this is me. I'm in the cage. Yeah, and that's what it looks like. I don't know why my lips are so big in this one. So that's what it looks like. And then this is what it looks like when you're doing the cage diving.
How long are you submerged?
Here, just check it out first. Here, you see? This shark, see, it's right in front of me. So definitely worth it. I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. The shark was like right coming to me.
Are you allowed to feed them?
No, they feed them. They throw food,
Oh.
but you can't have your hand out. Obviously,
You didn't pet the sharks either.
No, yeah. Yeah, you're in the water for about 15 minutes, maybe. And you're allowed to go more than once.
Oh.
So some people go twice or 3 times. Because people puke, right? So when people puke, they don't want to come back anymore. Cause you can see the shark from the deck also. Like you can see the shark bring their head up and go crazy. Like they take the food, tear it with their mouth. It's really like.
This cage is quite big. The shark can come inside, can't it?
No, you can't.
No.
No, you can't.
Oh.
No.
Kevin's still here, he's not meat for the sharks.
The opening looks quite big.
It looks big, yeah.
It's the GoPro, I think, because it's a wide angle.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if you can see.
You encountered a.
Yeah, you see, there's another shark. See, it's like literally right in front of me.
How many did you see?
Huh? I saw like 5.
Wow.
Oh, it was great. It was a great experience.
Is the water very cold?
I got lucky when I went. It wasn't bad. But the people who went the day before me their hands was like shaking like crazy. Yeah, it's one of those like I got lucky. Some people didn't. Yeah, it's like the saying, right? Better you than me. And finally, Cape Town. Hey, Cape Town. Everyone goes to Cape Town. So they have Table Mountain. This is like the must-see there. It's one of the 7 wonders of nature. You can hike it, or you can just take the gondola up. We took the gondola up. My sisters hiked it. They like the experience. Boat Cap is the colorful houses. This is my girlfriend. She's posing beside the colorful houses. Cape of Good Hope is a must-see. I didn't go there because I ran out of time and I was sick of driving at this point. So I just missed it. I said, I'll come back to South Africa one day. I'll go to Cape of Good Hope. Robben Island, I also missed this one. I'm pretty choked. I really want to see Robben Island. That's where Nelson Mandela was in prison. You can take the tour from Cape Town for that one. So that was underlined on the must.
The tour guides at Robben Island are all former prisoners too.
Really?
Which really makes
Oh
it
wow,
interesting.
that sounds like an awesome experience.
And they say you can ask us anything, and they answer pretty
Pretty candidly.
candidly.
Wow. Yeah, I'd like to go back and go to Robben Island. That's the one I kind of regret not going to. Here's some other places you can go to. Lion's Head, you can go get some wine. There's a lot of wine in that area.
Lots of ones. Yeah,
So
nice
if you want to drink a lot of wine, that's for you. Gardens of Kirstenbosch. I don't know how to pronounce it.
They're beautiful.
Yeah,
They're
that's
well worth it.
Yeah.
It's a botanical garden, so they saved all the plants of all of South Africa. They've saved species of each one from like 100 years ago and several, so, because you're never gonna see a lot of them because they've gone extinct, but.
But they're
these
here there?
Gardens, they've
Oh, good.
saved everything. So it's very heartwarming to think, okay, that this has not died.
Yeah, there's hope.
Yeah, because they saved, plants. It's really nice.
This is Table Mountain, so you can see the view. You can take it's very nice. It's easy to take like very picturesque pictures, like this. So we took like tons of pictures, and you can just see the whole Cape Town from up there. When we first went there, we were a little bit choked because it was foggy, so we couldn't see any view at all. But like, when the fog lifted, it was really nice.
Where's the table?
It's at the top.
We're on top of it.
We're on
We're on top of
Mountains?
it. Yeah. No, this is the table. So if you can see the Table Mountain if you're down here, you're looking
How
up.
high is it, do you know?
I don't know the exact height.
It's pretty high.
It's pretty high though.
It's high.
It's high, yeah.
I fell asleep going up, and then I was up there, I was really tired, and then my energy came back. I realized it's altitude.
Oh, that's why.
High altitude.
As you hike on the base?
You can hike, yeah, if you prefer hiking.
Yeah, from the
But the
base.
gondola-
Yeah, from the base, yeah, you can hike. Yeah, I think you can see the path actually.
Oh, I see. Oh, you
Yeah.
can also take gondola.
Yeah, I took the
Oh,
gondola.
I see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just because I was in a. Just one tip though. So when you park your car, give the attendant a tip. Because the one that's a tip, he watches your car. If you don't tip him, whatever happens to your car is your fault. So give him a tip, and he'll watch your car. You don't need to give him a big tip. You just have to give him something. It's like, hey, here, watch my car. They're like, okay, and it's good. Just nice little tip there. Honorable mention. So I didn't talk about these places because I didn't go there, but here's some. Yeah, I have the Ostrich Farm near Cape Town that the
I
Mahara went to.
Kango Caves as well.
Yeah, Kango Caves. I didn't go there, but
Really
apparently it's
fun.
awesome. So this is the oldest game reserve apparently in South Africa. So I can't pronounce this one, but you can read it. I wanted to go to Golden Gate Highlands, but someone told me to go to Drakensberg instead. But apparently it's really nice. Pongola Game Reserve apparently is quite good too. This is near Durban, so if you want to go more east of South Africa, even more east than Durban, then this is kind of like where you would go. Apparently the Acacia Mountain Retreat in Cape Town is incredible. I've never done it, but apparently it's like a very serene and peaceful, relaxing experience. And then if you go up Cape Town in the Northern Cape, you can see the desert landscapes. So if you're big into landscapes and you want to see more desert-like, because it's bordering Namibia, right? Then that's where you would go. Safety tips. Let's go over with safety. Don't drive at night. Don't stop at red lights if you drive in Johannesburg at night. Don't go out at night. Don't show your valuables because someone's going to steal your stuff. Get gas frequently. So when you're driving in South Africa, sometimes it's a long stretch between gas stations, so always fill up gas. Yeah, gas stations are safe. They're safe. Don't worry. You can leave your car and you go inside the shop. They have food. I oftentimes when they always have burgers in those gas stations and they taste really good. So I always ate burgers. Get as much money from the airport ATM. So when you get to the airport, don't exchange your money in the changing. Use your debit card and withdraw money from the ATM.
Yeah, BMO is advertising right now. Free of ATM fees anywhere in the globe.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's really good.
That'd be pretty neat. Yeah.
That's a good promo.
Yeah.
Do you work with BMO? Or you just
I
kidding?
used to.
Yeah. It's just kidding. Have an international driver license in case corrupt cops ask you for a bribe. It doesn't really happen. Like South Africa, actually, I didn't really have trouble with cops that much. They intimidated me. There was one cop that was trying to intimidate me when I was in a corner store, but when he realized I was staying in a hostel, he didn't press on. Right? He's like, "Where are you staying?" I was like, "I'm staying in a hostel in the corner." He's like, "Oh, okay." It's like, this guy, there's nothing I can take from this guy.
Don't have anything.
Yeah, he's just staying in a hostel. Don't stay in Johannesburg for too long, and don't pick up hitchhikers or ask for directions at the side of the road.
Yeah.
Those are some safety tips.
Yeah.
When you say don't go out at night, do you mean like from,
6 p.m.
really, 6 p.m.?
As soon as it gets dark.
Oh, really? Oh,
6.
okay.
Yeah, 6 when you want to start heading back in.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe you can get away with 6:30, but 6, 7, no later than 7.
So it is those black guys or is the white guys like who are coming after you to rob you?
It's the black guys.
It's the black guys.
It's the black guys. Yeah. I don't want to be racist, but that's how it is. But it's because they're poor, right?
But it was not like this before. It's basically last 10, 15 years this thing has
No,
started.
30 years.
No, it's always been like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's always.
It's always been like that, yeah.
So, the lady said, "We're walking from the library home." She said, "You're not walking." I said, "Well, yes,
Yeah.
we are." You know, we were younger then too, like now,
Yeah.
we'd be,
People are still going despite all this
yeah.
safety issues.
Yeah, my sister just did it. My 2 younger sisters, 2 girls, no males. They drove across from Johannesburg all the way to Cape Town. That's 2.
So, question for you. I want to go from South Africa up to Namibia
Yeah.
from the other side.
Yep,
So is
By
that
driving?
safe?
that side's safe.
That side's okay?
We did that. Once you leave Cape Town, like once we got out of Cape Town, we were fine. And we did all the way up, we did that whole route. But it's just, when we checked into our hotel in Cape Town, they said, you don't leave this property after 5 o'clock. And I said, well, there's a cafe across the street. They said, if you want to go there, you come to the desk. We call you a taxi. They take you there, and when you leave there to come back here, you have them call you a taxi.
Is this Cape Town too?
Cape Town,
across the street.
But how long ago was that though? Like
2010.
yeah, so Namibia is actually more dangerous than Cape Town now because I went to Cape Town. There was 2 armed robbery right outside my hostel in Namibia, and they told me don't drive in Namibia with a South African license plate. They're gonna rob you for sure. And even when I was backpacking, I met some travelers in Vietnam. They told me, oh yeah, I was in Namibia. Someone tried to rob me with a gun in Namibia.
One more question. So between safety, that's basically the question I had.
Yeah.
Between Colombia and Ecuador and South Africa, which is safer?
But yeah, Colombia for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Colombia's not even dangerous.
Ecuador's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they're not even dangerous. Colombia's. I was walking I was taking local buses in Colombia. Colombia's like one of the safest places I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, twice we had somebody try to carjack us during the day in
In
Cape
Cape Town?
Town with a gun. But then everybody said, oh, but they wouldn't have bullets in the gun. Really?
Nice to know,
Yeah.
nice to know, yeah.
Yeah, it's,
You know, also, Kendrick, to be fair, like, young people, they don't get harassed as much
It's
on
true,
another
it's true,
level
that's true.
because they know, well, they don't know, but they're assuming that you know how much money. If
Yeah.
they see, like, Gloria and
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
they
it's
say,
true,
oh,
that's true.
middle-aged white women.
That's true.
oh,
Yeah,
forget
that's
it,
very
you
true.
know,
Yeah,
how do you
yeah, that's a
get
very
there?
good point.
So,
Yeah, watch your
definitely.
demographic because
Yeah.
I had like guys in my hostel come out, go out at night 10 p.m. and they go clubbing and stuff. Like in Cape Town, they were okay. You know, they just walk the streets.
Yeah, like a 20-year-old guy who's 6'3" is about the safest person in the world, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and let's face it, you know, they're strong, they're big, they're
Yeah.
guys, you know, women, older women, you know, there's.
Yeah, yeah, it's true, it's true.
We had, you know, we had South African plates on our camper van,
Yeah,
which, you know, you might as well put dollar signs at the end of it. When we
Yeah.
got into Malawi, Mozambique, Malawi was the one that, you know, it was just endless.
Harassing you.
Well, we might as well put ATM on the side of it because it was just, you know, how much money can I get out of you? Absolutely none, sorry.
Yeah.
And then when they say, and what did you bring me? You say, greetings from Canada. Can I have your camera? No.
I like your one-liners.
Yeah. That's also why bush
Uh,
camping was a good idea, because you're remote enough that your problems are mostly animals and not people, so that eliminates one of the concerns. The only reason why I encountered any problems is because I had to do some things by myself. Like, no one has a 4-month safari tour that goes to all the places that I wanted to go. But, yeah.
So the safari tour, but it was rough, like, did you have to do cooking and everything?
Yeah, you have to do your own chores, but I think it's less rough than people think. That's
Okay.
what I'm assuming, but then I've also been told I live on a completely different plane when it
Yeah.
comes to luxury.
You
By
you
definition-
probably do, yeah.
Yeah, I
You,
probably
you slept
were
you
you
slept
in
on a
tents?
you slept outside.
Yeah, we slept in tents.
Yeah.
Did you have like cots or air mattresses or anything?
They had all of the mattresses that you would want. I actually never went with a sleeping bag. Everyone else in my safari brought their own
Yeah.
sleeping bags, and I was okay without a sleeping bag personally, but I guess it really depends on your
Okay,
perspective.
yeah. So it depends a lot on your demographic.
Yeah.
Any questions, everyone, before we wrap up stuff?
I did
Yes.
a camp in Kenya, and it was about every third day they took you, middle of the day, to a middle to high-end resort, have a
Yeah.
shower, use the pool, have lunch. Yeah, and the cook took amazing meals out of his gunny sack, you know, catering to even vegetarians.
Really?
That's good.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
What's your question?
Yeah, at the beginning you mentioned that you met, your impetus for your 1 year off was you met someone in Seattle who gave you some information on a travel hack. So what gave you, like how, I have to read your blog because obviously, you know, there's information there that.
Yeah, read it from right when I left all the way to like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so how did you fund your travel for the,
Well, I saved up money.
oh, okay.
Stop spending, start saving.
Yeah, I had like 3 jobs, and then
No time to spend.
I was just saving up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. And then I signed up for like 10 to 15 credit cards before I left.
Yeah.
Got all the points.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I churned them. Like I got a card. I hit the minimum spend requirement. I got the points. I canceled it. Got another one. Got the
So you
points.
were also using like your bank ATM?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
But did you happen to go to like the Seychelles or Maldives as well? Probably.
No,
Not yet.
not yet. Not
Yeah.
yet. I will. Not yet. That's in the works.
All these very expensive.
Yeah, my brother
It
and
is.
his wife just went 2 months ago. Pretty pricey. He
Even
said.
with points, it's expensive. I was looking into it.
Yeah. I said, you know, would you go back? And he said, no.
Yeah.
What about French Polynesia, those islands?
I haven't been there yet, but I'd like to go.
Sri Lanka.
I'd like to go.
Sri Lanka?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got enough points to stay for free at the over the water bungalow, but like there's no availability. That's kind of like what I'm having issues with. Cause I have the points, but I don't have. There's no availability won't show up. So like I can't stay in those. Cause why would you go there unless you stay at the over the water, right? There's no point. That's like the tourist attraction there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for Kruger
Yes.
National Park, I mean, to see wildlife, when is the best time of year, do you think, to go?
You can go any time of the year. It's gonna be a little bit different because they probably move around based on the season.
If you go in the drier
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
then if you, like, there's lots of water holes, and we would just find a watering hole and park there, you know, about 4 o'clock. And there's a whole hierarchy of who comes to the watering hole when. And then, I think we had to be back in the gates to where the campground was at 6 o'clock. Seems to me 6
When it
o'clock.
gets dark?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if you're not back in, it's like the Serengeti, if you're not out when you're supposed to, then it starts to cost a lot of money.
So end of the dry season is good, because then they're pretty hungry and pretty thirsty. And so
Yeah.
then they're coming out, like they're just exposing, they're taking risks, the animals are taking risks,
Yeah.
because they need to.
Yeah.
What time of year is that?
Well, I went in
October.
January.
October.
So it's
January is
October,
not dry.
Pardon? January was, in South Africa was dry then, but, I mean, it was like starting to get rainy.
Oh, starting to, okay,
Just-
October's dry season.
It'll
October.
October?
You can just look on.
October,
you can
November,
Look
yeah.
online on all these things, just look
Yeah.
online and it says, best season to visit, just type in.
My
best season.
sister went in December, it's starting to rain, and they, even Tugela Falls had water. Yeah, so you can go to Tugela Falls, yeah. But January probably better, January's probably better to go.
Would you be able to see the migration in Kruger Park?
No, you have to go to Tanzania for that. I didn't see I'd love to see the wildebeest migration.
And it-
Yeah.
like literally, there are wildebeest from horizon to horizon. And they all have their babies on the same day. And we happened to be in the park that day. There was just babies being born everywhere. It was really,
Yeah.
really
The
pretty.
migration
Steph,
has to be certain
how's it?
time of the year.
Yes.
Up a little bit.
We
Yeah.
all must have
Usually-
went to the same.
No, it's okay. No, keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. Any final questions before we wrap this up?
Great,
Just
great
on a health
presentation.
aspect-
What's that?
On a health aspect.
Yes.
Stay out of the lakes. It's not the crocodiles, it's the freshwater snail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You heard of that?
Yeah.
No, what's that? Freshwater what?
The snail.
There's
A
some
parasite?
nasty things you get.
Where?
It goes up your pee hole and you have all kinds of problems after.
A parasite?
Yeah.
They told us that.
Any more questions,
Lake
guys?
Victoria.
You mentioned don't use electronic, so how do you take pictures?
No, you can take pictures when you're in the spot, like
Like
But I
the,
mean in the
Yeah.
street.
You're not gonna be walking
Don't
down,
even
walking down the street.
yeah. No, you don't do it like on the streets. You don't take pictures in the streets, because people are gonna, I can't tell you how many times I would like to take a picture, because I would drive through like an area where there's so many locals walking by. I was like, oh my god, this is such a cool place to take a big
Yeah.
picture or video. But nope, your safety is on the line. So
So just don't do anything.
no, you don't take any risk. You take a risk, I won't see you in the meetup again. That's pretty much it. Don't it's not a joke in South Africa.
No.
Any more questions, guys?
No, that was great, Kevin.
Thanks.
Thank you.